This week on the show, we welcome back our good friend, Twitch streamer, and creator of MGSV, the definitive movie, Adam Online. Yeah, this is a chocolate peanut butter porter, and it's called Sweet Baby Jesus.
It's from a brewery in Maryland called Dewclaw.
Dewclaw, yeah. Yeah, that shit is chronic.
They do a lot of stuff like that, if you recognize the name Nitroid.
I do not, but I will make a recommendation. When I was visiting family, I went to my favorite pizza place, and they, rotate out all the local beers and just, random stuff. And this isn't a local one that they had, but the owner recommended it. It was called Sweetwater Blue. You ever heard of this? It's a blueberry beer.
But how do they taste?
It is one of the best I have ever had.
I'm open to that.
And it was so good that my wife, who hates, and I mean hates beer, tried it out of curiosity and was like, whoa, this is really good.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we're not really drinking beer. It's something else.
Was it like a sour?
No, it tastes like blueberry beer. I don't even know how to explain it.
Was it like a gose? Because they have
like
that.
A what?
A gose is GOSE. Like there's a bunch of like fruity shit that's a gose, and it's kind of a
I have no idea.
Lower alcohol. There's like, God, I just had one. It was like a Ninja Turtle gose, and it was like berries and pomegranate and all this shit. It tastes like juice. Like it's nuts.
I looked it up. It's like 4.6%.
Yeah.
Imagine you couldn't have an evening on it, right? Probably be a bit too sweet after a couple.
No, it was really subtle.
Yeah, it's like a end of the night. Like when you've been drinking, then you kind of like you want a little more. It's like you don't want to like go over. It's like that's when you kind of have the ghost. You have like cranberry and
no. This was really drinkable.
So this is a wheat ale. This is more of like a citrusy, hopsy.
Okay.
Not so hoppy, but I've seen shit like this before.
It was really good.
This is my current poison.
I'm impressed.
Oh, okay, we're in live chat. Got it.
That is fancy as hell.
Oh, yeah. Welsh gold, they call it.
It's like, you fucking savages with your flavored drinks.
Yeah, I can recommend it. I don't know if you guys can get it over there.
They pour this down the rocks of a mountain and into a bottle made of crystal, and like, yeah, get out of here.
I mean, you're not quite wrong. You're not too far wrong. It's brewed in the foothills of the
oh, God damn it, foothills.
The Bracken Mountains, so they use the mountain water.
It's always the foothills.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I'm Fingers.
Hey everyone, this is Days Ahead.
And I'm Nitroid. You're listening to the Kojima Frequency. At least it's not like Crystal Skull vodka, where Dan Aykroyd talks about how like they filter it with what is it, Herkimer diamonds, which is just like cubic zirconia or something. I guess that makes it better.
Hey, we got Shaine in the listeners. What's up, Shaine?
Shaine.
Hey.
Hey, Shaine.
For real though, Crystal Head vodka is amazing. Like I don't care what BS marketing is behind it. Whatever they're doing to make that stuff, it is. I didn't know there could be such a thing as a sippable vodka.
Vodka makes me an angry drunk, so that is like a full stop right there.
It was clean. And like we made the most 90s as fuck mixer with it. So we figure we've got Dan Aykroyd's vodka and Crystal Pepsi was back out. So we got some of that. But also Ecto Cooler was back out. So we got some of that. So like we made the ultimate 90s cocktail and we called it a Belushi.
Aww.
Yeah, it seemed appropriate.
I just know if I want Days to go berserk, I just get a vodka Red Bull and be like, go.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a nuke.
Yeah.
Go and stop.
Maybe on the MGO night.
Oh, fuck.
Days get on the vodka.
What's an MGO? Wait, I'm sorry, sir. What's an MGO? I'm sorry, what's your name? Is this Outland? I'm sorry.
It's been too long.
What talent points do I spec in this MGO? Sorry, no. It has been too long.
We need to get back into it now they got the new maps.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
We need to do like a community thing.
Well, in order to use the new maps, you have to have a modded PS3.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. So we can either pile into someone else's room or someone can bite the bullet and get the custom firmware.
Right, yeah. The caveat is that you can play on those maps as long as somebody else is hosting if you don't have a modded PS3. But to host, you have to have a modded PS3. So, who wants to risk their PSN account?
Not it.
Nose goes.
Dead silence.
I've got a spare PS3 here I can probably use.
No, Adam just volunteered.
I'll look into it. I'll see what the crack is with that. Like I said, I've got a spare PS3, just kind of gathering dust, see how involved it is.
So, Adam.
Yeah.
You are our first return guest.
Oh, I'm honored. Yeah, thanks, guys. I haven't thanked you yet, but cheers for having me back on. Really appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, cheers, buddy.
Absolutely. It's good to have you back.
Yeah, we had a good time last time.
Yeah.
So fill us in. What have you been up to in the meantime?
So, since my foray into speedrunning, dip my toes into the waters there, I've been using Twitch channel points to give players control, basically, over the game, over Metal Gear, while I'm playing it. For better or worse.
Now that sounds sadistic.
Yeah,
like a little masochistic. Like like
a little pinch of masochism there. Yeah.
I was gonna say, the longer I get to know you, the more I'm starting to think you're masochistic. Because first it's like all these races against, like, I remember you offered me to like race me in Resident Evil, and I was like, come on, man. And then now you're like at the mercy of the Twitch audience with Venom Snake. So yeah, I guess the first question, like Finger said, is why.
Yeah, you're basically like letting like your little brother just like stomp on your controller at any time. It's like, okay.
Yeah, that's how I
you're like
described
setting
it to you,
yourself
right?
up to be a glutton for punishment here.
I described it to you as it's kind of like, when you were younger, you were playing your SNES or your Sega with your younger sibling, and you give them the second controller, but it's not plugged in.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, except the second controller can call in airstrikes when you're playing MGSV, basically,
or just empty your clip, or just
yeah. So I mean, I've always allowed backseat gaming in my channel. I know that's a bit of a faux pas on Twitch, but I've always kind of enjoyed it, especially when playing Metal Gear, because there are so many knowledgeable people out there who'll join me in my chat that I'm always learning something new. I've been playing Metal Gear for 20 years, and there's always someone in chat who knows this strat or that strat. Especially going back to the speedrunning stuff. While I was learning that, always someone in chat who was able to help me out and had a good tidbit to share. So it was just kind of like the next step.
This sounds suspiciously like the Grand Theft Auto 5 Chaos mod. Have you ever heard of this?
I think I have. Go ahead though. Remind me.
Well, I don't know too much about it. I've watched a couple streams, but the idea is that there are random effects that can be triggered at either specific intervals or by Twitch chat that will do all sorts of random things, like from just mundane, innocent things like everybody now wears green shirts to your car is now in the middle of the Air Force Base. It'll just do absolutely random stuff. I saw one that called in a meteor strike, and that's amazing. You started having like giant rocks falling from the sky, and so like the goal is to try and beat the game despite all of the insanity going on around you, and this sort of sounds like that.
Yeah, and to give people a little bit of context here, because I feel like we just kind of jumped in, is Adam is our friend, but he also does this thing where in Twitch, and I'll have you explain it a little better, on Twitch, when you redeem channel points, you get Venom Snake, you can get Venom Snake to do things, you can change the environment, a lot of crazy shit. And unlike the Chaos mod, he actually, from my understanding, you like built this from the ground up, right? Or using,
Yeah, I'm using
from the ground up using my existing mods.
Yeah. So I mean, I started it with MGS5, just because, Infinite Heaven and various other mods allow you to do all sorts of stuff. Infinite Heaven in particular has a lot of shortcuts, controller shortcuts, keyboard shortcuts, for changing the alert state of the guards. putting them on caution mode. There's a shortcut that makes them move kind of like 10 times faster than they usually do, which my chat particularly likes.
Oh, jeez.
So
Yeah, I've seen them use that against you. You're like sneaking up on a guard. You're like just about to get him, and then pew, he just takes off.
and he's
You're
gone.
like, "Fuck."
That's it. Yeah. So Infinite Heaven provides a lot of opportunities like that. There's a lot of, like I say, shortcuts that allow you to do all sorts of different stuff. And because it's just keybinds, like I say, I use an app called Touch Portal, and that basically it just listens out to Twitch chat for point redeems. So if someone wants to make the guards go 10 times faster, it it does a key press totally out of my control and just sends the guard flying away, or calls in an airstrike, or makes Snake fire a shot or something like that. Yeah, so
That's great.
it's really good fun. Surprisingly, when I first got into it, I was like, oh, what am I setting myself up for with this? But it's actually really fun, and yeah, there's a lot of really great moments that come from it.
Especially with the game you're like so familiar with too. It's like at that point you're like, all right, yeah, just fuck me up, like do whatever. So, I'll be able to handle it and figure it out. You got the experience.
Exactly right.
Yeah,
it's a new way to play after all these years. And I felt the same with speedrunning too.
This is your chapter 3. Just
this is my chapter 3 exactly. Yeah.
Make your own chapter 3. That's the lesson of this episode, guys.
They pulled a Hotline Miami. They're like, you do it.
Maybe the real chapter 3 were the friends we made along the way.
God damn it, Nitrite.
So how much variety do you have in this thing? Like, is it just limited to things that Infinite Heaven can sort of put in, or
no?
So like for example, could somebody trigger random enemies to show up, or could they trigger supply drops for random items, things like that?
Yes. I don't have it implemented. I need to look into it a little bit further, but I believe it's Infinite Heaven. I need to get my facts straight on this, but I think Infinite Heaven can write to the some of like the mission files and stuff that define what's going on in the world at that time. So it may very well be possible. So I'm looking into it. But I have some that are linked to the mods, like speeding up the soldiers, changing the caution state. I have a similar setup in MGS2 as well, but there are some redeems that are a little bit more manual. So, for example, I have one that allows the chat to slow down time. Basically, it makes Snake use the Noctis sign-in, I think it is. Slows down time. So, Noctis sign-in sees through walls. I have that too. But I have to manually put those items in a specific point in Snake's inventory. You've got the radial wheel.
Oh,
one on
I
the
get
left,
you.
one down, and it holds, I think it's 1 or 3, something like that on the numpad, and then down on the keypad to select that item. So it's quite, some of it's manual, and then some of it's a little bit more using shortcuts via the mods and things.
I'm gonna have to get in touch with you later after the show because I really want to try this.
Oh, for sure. It's good fun. I would recommend it. Definitely.
It's so curious how you kind of worked through the implementation for this, because I know you've been, and we're going to get to this topic later. I know you've been pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? I know you're pretty, you can make Metal Gears pretty malleable from what I've seen with your movie work.
Sure.
And now you decide to use it for this like masochistic endeavor. Like, how did it go from like point A to point B, I guess, in terms of thinking, hey, I should torture myself with this?
I think the idea came to me. I was playing Final Fantasy 14, and I had a page set up that had all my spells bound to it. So instead of learning, key combinations, I just had a macro set up. And I thought, maybe I could do the same for MGS5. Have a button for quickly going into free cam mode or whatever. And it just kind of went from there. Really, I was just thinking, it just came to me, how cool would it be to have chat be able to do this stuff? And lo and behold, Touch Portal has that feature that allows it to listen out to Twitch chat. And yeah, so it was it kind of came from streamlining my process for making videos. I guess it kind of came from there. I was like, right, set up macros for that. And then it just kind of dawned on me, just clicked that, I could perhaps give chat control of the game for some of these aspects. And it started with MGS5 because I know my way around the mods and the game itself. And then from there, I've implemented it for MGS1 because there's a PC port, MGS2 because there's a PC port, and also a training tool that kind of acts almost Infinite Heaven-like in that it allows you to do things like change the caution state of soldiers, change the evasion state, give yourself all items. It hotkeys the items, which MGS2 PC doesn't do, but MGS1 does. So yeah, it just kind of all evolved from MGS5, really.
So what's the worst thing that's happened as a result of this system?
Chat are getting pretty good at. There's a cheap reward, which is just make Snake do a dive. So it's cheap, the cooldown's low on it, so they can spam it every sort of 5 minutes. So I'll be like fighting Quiet, for example, and I'll be up on the archway, and I'll be looking for Quiet. Someone will just trigger that, and Snake just dives off the edge, and that's it. Got to start again.
Simple but effective.
Simple but effective. Some of the more expensive redeems that I've got set up is kill Raiden or Snake in MGS2. People have kind of learned now that they're working together in chat to kind of screw me over in the most with the maximum effect. So like waiting for me to finish fighting the Rays at the end, and then just boom, suicide, start again.
Oh my god!
just things like that.
See, I haven't had a chance to go to your like MGS1 or 2 stream, so I'm pretty curious about this. But now I don't know if I want to hear about it, to be honest.
No, it's all in good fun. It's all in good fun.
What else? But yeah, no. What else can you do? Like, I know you've kind of explained it, but sort of what have you been implementing with MGS1 and 2, and do you plan on continuing with those, or do you have any other games on your sites? I really hope you don't plan with 14, because you're fucking with like 9 other people in your free company, but
yeah, exactly, right.
7 other people, right?
Yeah, so there are some games like I do like Milsim and stuff, so I haven't implemented it for games like that because it's ruining other people's fun, right? But I've got it for MGS1.
10K points to drop from the Praetorium.
Exactly, right? Exactly. But I do want to do it for MGS3 as well, but it's a little bit more difficult, seeing as it's never had a native PC port. Obviously, you can emulate it, and that might be something I'll look into. But I'm actually going to look into something that ApacheSmash told me about.
Shout out ApacheSmash.
Woo! Shout out
to Apache. Yeah. He told it's a gimmicks adapter. The speedrunners use it. It hooks into the PC and then sends the signals down to the console. I'm not too sure what speedrunners use it for. It might be for showing buttons on screen, show it like demonstrating what buttons are being pressed and stuff like that. I'd have to check with him, but what I'd be able to use it for is if I bind X. So if I wanted to make Snake get down on the ground, or if chat wanted to do that at an inopportune time, I could use the gimmicks adapter to press X on my keyboard, for example, and make the console think that the controller's being pressed. So I want to do it for MGS3 as well. I think that's the next step. But yeah.
Sheesh.
Now if we could just get a damn PC port for it.
Right?
Oh, I know. Yeah, that would be a dream. And 4 as well. While they're at it, do 4 too, please.
I was gonna say, this all seems like the one big reason why it needs to be a PC port is because everything that you described on top of emulating, on top of streaming, sounds like you're like gonna blow up your PC. It's so resource intensive.
Yeah, it can be. I had an update to my PC and it just broke everything today, so I was panicking ahead of the stream, ahead of the show actually. But I managed to get it all working in time. But yeah, stuff breaks, especially when there's a lot of moving parts, which there is when I use this kind of setup.
Right, lots of dependencies.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could do this with Death Stranding.
I have done it with Death Stranding.
Oh.
Yeah. Again, it's more of a manual approach because there's no real modding scene for Death Stranding, as far as I'm aware, anyway. So it's very much manual. Press this key, press that key. But
right.
Is there a reason there's not really a modding scene for Death Stranding? Is like the engine just have people not cracked it, or
I think people have. I think the initial reason is because of De Novo. It kind of came bundled with De Novo. I think that might be it, but it might just be a lack of interest in it, maybe. But
yeah, because I could have
Yeah.
sworn I was going to see like Snake in there on day one, but it's just not happening.
yeah, I was kind of looking for after the fantastic modding scene that MGS5 has. I was
Oh yeah.
kind of looking forward to the same thing from Death Stranding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought people were going to go nuts, but
And then the other way around, they put Sam in fucking.
Well, even with MGSV, it took a while for the modding community to sort of kick in. There were a lot of things in place that made it difficult to mod. It was several years before Snakebite came on the scene, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I think. Yeah, I believe so.
Which for anybody who doesn't know, Snakebite is a mod manager for the game.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's it makes modern MGS5 simple. And they're doing a lot of great stuff over at Modders Heaven in terms of cracking Fox Engine, figuring out the file formats and how it does this and that. I'd love to be able to speak about it in length, but I'm very much just an end user when it comes to the mods, really. But they're doing some great stuff, new
Bro,
maps and
I'm trying
all
to
that.
crack into Modders Heaven to get a guest. Don't get me started. It's not from lack of trying, believe me.
Sure.
The one thing I'm really waiting for, and I've seen a little bit of progress on this in the past, but I haven't kept up on it, was I think it was called FoxKit. I could be wrong about that, but it was an early map editor for the game that would hook into Unity so that you could create custom maps.
Yeah, they're using that. They're using FoxKit. I've used FoxKit a little bit to mostly for the machinimas that I make. If I want guards to do specific things, be in specific places, I can use it to modify routes. I've created the odd side op as well that you can put into the game, and you can create custom routes like that.
Whoa!
Using FoxKit, it's
Okay, so that's far enough along now that people can just pick it up and run with it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's it's relatively user friendly. The guys over at Modders Heaven, will give you pointers if you need them. But you can create missions now, and some of the missions that people are creating are just fantastic. I make some basic ones, like I say, just modifying soldier routes and things like that. But some of the stuff that can be done now is really, really interesting.
So is it open enough that you could actually make a custom map itself? Like not just guard routes, not just missions within the existing maps, but entirely new ones?
Yeah, that's being done. You've probably seen the pictures, right, of
oh, right.
the MGS
the Shadow Moses.
And Shadow Moses. Yeah, all that stuff. So it's all being done, I believe, with FoxKit.
Man.
So it's far enough along now that you can do that, yeah.
That's really cool. Need to get some VR missions in there.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be so. Just thinking of the visuals there, that'd be so.
Right?
I think we've talked about putting like VR assets into, or how pretty VR assets would be in FoxKit, or I think they might have implemented them. I forget, but man, that's actually a good. Thank you for bringing up your machinima, Adam, because that is actually
sure.
a good segue into the other thing that we wanted to talk to you about. Was you don't just implement modifications in Metal Gear to hurt yourself. You also use them for your machinima work, which very recently you started working on. And I apologize if I get the title of this wrong.
It's all right.
The Metal Gear Solid 5 film.
Yeah.
That has an official title. I'm not sure.
I've called it the definitive movie. Kind of. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going with. So I'd always wanted to do. I made like a machinima series called Tales from Mother Base, and it was kind of a story from the perspective of your average Diamond Dogs grunt, like the missions that they get sent on. You're in your iDroid, you're sending them on these outer ops. I don't think MGS5 calls it outer ops, does it? Anyway, you're sending your Diamond Dogs on missions. I just kind of wanted to make a machinima based on what those guys were doing kind of off screen. And I'd always wanted to make a movie of MGS5, kind of in the vein of like Kefka Productions, that kind of stuff, but using sort of cinematic gameplay, so moving the camera around, changing the angles up to bridge those cutscenes together. So yeah, I've got some of the way through. I've got quite a long way to go, but I'm currently on a hero's way, and I'm nearly finished with that. But it's good fun.
How long is this going to be?
I'm not sure. I have no idea.
Are you trying to like condense it down a lot, or are you trying to like just keep
I
it,
will
keep everything
probably
in
do
kind
that.
of?
Yeah,
Just sort of distill it into the main story beats.
I think I will. Yeah, if I was to do every single episode, it'd probably drag out a little bit, right? So I'm on a hero's way now.
Yeah, because like you mentioned, Kefka Productions, he kind of does that with like just he splices in a little bit of the gameplay to like connect, so it's not just like cutscene, but it's pretty much straightforward gameplay. Whereas you're going in and getting the more like cinematic shots to kind of blend it all in together more.
That's the idea, yeah. And it was an idea I'd had for quite a long time. But to kind of go take it back to the modding a little bit, it wasn't possible. I didn't want to do it because I couldn't do it for Ground Zeroes. Ground Zeroes doesn't have infinite heaven, so I can't move the camera around. I mean, it's probably possible, but not with my know-how or whatever. So it wasn't until Caplag managed to port Camp Omega into the Phantom Pain that I was then able to...
Caplag, come on the show.
Yeah. But yeah, soon as Camp Omega made it into MGS5, I was then able to. I was like, okay, well, I'll have a go at this MGS5 movie because it wouldn't be complete without Ground Zeroes, right?
So what? I'm curious as to, because I've seen some of your streams where you've been trying to record stuff and you're trying to manipulate Venom while also like manipulating some other aspect while also thinking, oh fuck, I forgot I modded this guard's path, so I can't get the shot I need. Like how like is it how hard is it to sort of spin all those plates at once?
So some of it's you're relying on a bit of RNG for some of it. So there was a scene I did recently of from one angle a guard was climbing a ladder, and it was one particular skin on this guard, and I needed to get the same shot from a different angle, and the guards. I'd exited out, gone to the ACC, came back into the mission, and when you do that, the guards randomize their appearance. So there was a guard that looked the same as the guard that I needed to climb this ladder. So I had to continually randomize their routes in order to get the guard that I needed to climb this ladder. It takes quite a long time, and there's a bit of RNG involved, but yeah. But manipulating Snake as well as the camera can be pretty difficult sometimes because he doesn't always do what you want him to do. Yeah. So.
Oh, I mean, shit. I mean, I find it really impressive just because it's like the game's already difficult enough to play, like let alone what am I trying to say here? The bull's hitting me. I can't imagine what it's like, trying to control all of those different aspects while also trying to make sure it has the quality and fidelity that you want for this project. I'd rather just play the fucking game. So I'm so impressed by what you're doing there.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it. Yeah, like I say, I'll have a Hero's Way ready sometime soon. Hopefully this weekend. But yeah,
sounds good. I was gonna make a joke about the MGS4 race, but
oh right,
I feel really bad. I was talking to that with Stealth the other day, and he was like, we've been going through a lot of shit with this guild lately, and I was just like, hey, I'm talking to Adam tomorrow. How about that MGS4 race? And then there was like silence, and then we all just started laughing.
Yeah, he's kind of dropped off the radar, right? with
him
fell in a wow hole.
Him and Liam are just like, I can't even. It's like I'm on one level because if I go any deeper, my brain will implode. But those guys, like, they have the capacity to just like, fucking, I can't even describe it. Liam's just turned into a whole different human being. You have to see it.
MMOs are serious business.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I don't know why this doesn't seem very surprising to you guys because I know you both are. While we're the WoW whores, you guys are the 14 sluts.
Absolutely.
I'm I'm still kind of a casual there, but I'm already rocking to the twinning, so you know, it's got its claws into me.
You know, it's interesting because I find that WoW and at least WoW Classic and 14 are two very quality but very different MMO experiences. Where I think someone said that 14 was an RPG MMO, whereas WoW is an MMORPG, where it's like
that makes sense. Yeah,
you're playing through an RPG like as the main character. And then there's, you know, for some of the larger engagements, there's like an MMO component. Whereas like WoW is like, sometimes I feel with my guild I'm in a cult, but
you are welcome to come over to the 14 side with us.
I can't
do it.
I can't.
No, you're too invested in WoW, right?
It's true, and I appreciate you guys understanding. But I'm not going to blabber about MMOs. If you guys want to cut this out, I just wanted to make sure Adam knew that we were okay. Your friends are okay, Adam. That's why we got you on the show to tell you that.
It's good to know they're all right. Yeah, I'm sure Stealth will reemerge from his WoW hole at some point. He does it from time to time, and I'm sure we'll pick up with Race. I think we were considering Race 3.5, which would be Portable Ops, and then Race 4 for MGS4 then afterwards. I think that's the plan.
As soon as we get this content on Farm Man, I'll make sure.
So speaking of coming out of their hole, which there's a segue for you.
Yeah, Kojima posting again
about Metal Gear.
Yeah,
great segue.
Pretty weird feeling, but it's a good one.
Late night fun facts about Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Talking about like the Pocket Station integral minigame.
Yeah, I was looking at. I'm trying to figure out. Like, apparently you can emulate Pocket Station shit. I don't know what that's about, but
you can. Yeah. The thing with the Pocket Station, and I never had one, but I've seen sort of how it works. It's been a while. It was like a quasi social thing where you had to develop a cure for fox die by connecting with other people who had Pocket Stations.
I was gonna say, it looks like Shaine's describing it in here. Gotta share Pocket Station data with 5 friends to get fox die shit.
Yeah. And if you got it all, then it unlocked the ninja missions in the VR disc. Which otherwise you have to put in a ton of work to get that.
I know. That's my favorite part of the PC integral port is that I don't have to put in the work for that. So that's good to know.
It's so much fun, and they give you like barely any missions.
They give you like
it's like 3.
I wanted to do you know what? A pleasant surprise from that was I got through the ninja missions and I was like, okay, but the puzzle missions, those were a real treat.
Oh, I love the puzzle missions.
Those are probably the most fun for me, the puzzle ones.
But yeah, no, he came out of nowhere with that stuff. And then like Fingers had posted that screenshot of Colonel calling Snake a broke bitch for not having a stereo TV, and that got a retweet. And yeah, lots of good stuff come out.
Yeah, I mean that was something that I didn't think a lot of people knew about, because the first time I played MGS1, it was in like this like side bedroom, and like we had the small TV in there, and I think it was even black and white, but it just had that one speaker on it. And yeah, I remember during that fight, they were just like, I remember just being fucking class shamed by Colonel and Naomi. It was just
class shamed.
Use your ears, Snake. You should be able to tell where he's coming from by the sound of his rotor blades. Huh? Snake, you're not using a stereo TV?
It can't be. A mono TV. Well, Colonel, there's nothing we can do about it.
I guess you're right. Snake, don't worry about it. There's more to being a good person than just having a stereo television. You can do it just the way you are.
Mono TV.
Yeah, so I mean, it was kind of an annoying day getting all those notifications after that, but that's what a Kojima retweet does.
Yeah, you got that. Yeah, the Kojima bump. Everybody sees.
Yeah, I think that's one of those. Like, that's actually a secret I think not too many people know about, because I think most people played that on a stereo TV by that time. So
there's another similar thing in there, where if you don't have a working second controller port, there's a contingency for beating Psycho Mantis, and this one's more well known. Where if you die, I think it's 2 or 3 times, something like that. Then there's an alternate strategy for beating Psycho Mantis.
It's the one where you shoot off the mask, right?
Yeah, you shoot the bandages off the masks on the busts on either side of the room, and it distracts him, and then he doesn't read your moves anymore.
It's like, I have to see these ugly faces like mine.
Yeah, and they even reference that in MGS4 if you call the Colonel during the Screaming Mantis fight.
I didn't know that.
Oh, that's a new one to me as well.
Yeah.
So does this mean, like, I don't know, like Kojima hasn't really posted about Metal Gear in like a long time.
Well,
Like,
to be fair,
I don't know if there's some like NDA or like some kind of like thing that has broken or like like expired by now, or I don't know. It seems weird from a. I don't think there was any legal action.
He did also post like fun facts about. I think I saw a few about like Snatcher and Police Knots. So maybe he was just like wine drunk and was like, I'm letting out these secrets, kids. Like your drunk auntie talking about her previous hookups.
I'll tell you what I think's happening, because he has talked about Metal Gear on several occasions post Konami breakup.
Yeah.
It's just not frequent, and I figured for a while he wasn't going to talk about it because it makes good sense not to, and I'm sure that's a sore subject, right?
Yeah.
But then he sort of like eased back into it for a while there and was talking about 5, and I think he talked about Peace Walker a little bit. But then all of a sudden, just like, it does seem like the floodgates opened up. And I don't know, I think when it comes to Twitter, Kojima is kind of a chaotic lawful. Is that the right word?
Feels the fire at times, right?
Yeah.
He just kind of. Yeah, he just sort of. No, it's not chaotic lawful. I'm getting how these charts work.
You've got 2.
I've got them backwards. Yeah.
Yeah. You got 2 of the extremes on the same thing. But I mean,
chaotic good. Chaotic good. There we go.
Yeah,
chaotic
good.
That's it.
I thought that was intentional. Sorry.
Chaotic neutral, according to some people.
No, I don't. Clearly, I don't play enough RPGs. But he just sort of tweets whatever he wants. It's all at his whim.
So you were probably thinking chaotic neutral then.
But I mean, it's always with good intent, because for a while there, he was just tweeting photos of flowers.
He was doing his like movie blurbs and stuff too. He's been back doing that and talking about how he's having a hard time editing using Premiere and shit. It's just been a while. So I think right now he's in like creative mode, because it seems like when he starts working on trailers and starts putting stuff out like that, that's when his his gears start turning. And I don't know, like and he starts wanting to like talk about the creative process. So maybe he's just getting nostalgic. I don't know.
Could be. He made a comment recently. I could have swore he made a comment about trying to talk about movies on Twitter. Did either of you catch that, or am I imagining this?
Oh, when he was like, sometimes I like to write about movies, but it's 280 characters. It had 280 in it since that. Yeah.
Okay, was that a low-key acknowledgement of the Saw Captain Marvel tweet?
I don't know.
And like, is he aware of what people think when he does that? He tweeted, I try to tweet my thoughts on novels/movies I recommend, but as it only allows 280 words, characters. I had to cut/add words, which ends up with the strange sentences. because of that habit, my official comments on novels and movies inevitably turn out to be long, though short ones have more impact. So
I don't know. When he just says like Saw,
yeah,
it's just like,
Like-
damn. All right, that's
like, is he
nothing.
aware of the memes about him? Like, he's got to be on some level.
Yeah.
This is from the man who brought us. I'm wearing a rainbow shirt, but I am not a gay.
And farewell, sausage.
And farewell, sausage. I say that every morning during breakfast.
Chaotic good.
I'm a fan of Big Corn.
I'm partial. I'm a huge fan of Eggs Benedict. So the tweet where he's like, Eggs Benedict look like boobies. I think about that every brunch. Every brunch.
I still think the best for me is just I'm okay. That's
After
the
all
fire?
Right.
the tsunami
God.
stuff. Oh my god.
I think about that every time there's like a earthquake or some loud sound. Think about tweeting out I'm okay.
I feel that energy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's had
Like,
some
I don't
absolute
want-
gems.
It's nice to see him active again, though.
I don't want you guys to be worried about me, but I also kind of don't want attention from this.
So do you think we're gonna get a new Death Stranding trailer like for the director's
Yeah.
cut here soon?
They said it was something like weeks away, which could, God, that could mean anything.
What do we got coming up? Tokyo Game Show? Is that happening this year?
That's September, I want to say.
What's
Hope we get something before that.
between now and then? Yeah.
When's
like,
Gamescom?
That's usually September, isn't it? I think.
I don't know. Hopefully between now and September somebody can get the man a better fucking keyboard than what he's working with, because Jesus Christ.
Oh, are you talking about the HP keyboard he had on his desk?
Yeah, that thing looked pathetic.
That is the exact keyboard I have at work.
Bro.
I mean, it was provided by work. I mean, is it bad that I like those kind of keyboards though? I like the flat keys.
I'm surprised he doesn't have a mechanical.
But he has like Sony money though.
Yeah.
But yeah, some people still rock that like $20 Logitech keyboard you can get. Everybody knows the one.
The membrane janks.
They work. They work. And I mean, that's his Windows PC. If you look at his other stuff, like he clearly likes to work on the Mac more.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I did learn that I did not know.
And he used Microsoft Edge. What the fuck?
Okay, that's unforgivable.
I saw that was open. Yeah.
I picked up on that as well.
But one thing I thought was interesting is, did you see his mouse? Can't believe we're talking about like his freaking desk accessories. Jesus Christ.
What was his mouse?
If it was like what he was having for lunch, that'd be a little weird, but we're nerds, so it's okay to talk about like, the peripherals.
I did not know that Logitech in Japan is called Logic Cool.
Oh. Huh.
Like
they have a different LOGICOOL, Logic Cool, because apparently Logitech was a name that was already trademarked in Japan when our Logitech went over and tried to get into the market over there, so they had to rebrand.
Interesting. It's sort of like how there's TJ Maxx in America, but then there's TK Maxx in Europe.
Is there really?
Yeah.
Can't confirm.
Whoa.
Which one came first?
Dude, I don't know.
Probably J. Comes before K. They're like,
Yeah.
fuck, just move the letter down one more. We're good.
We're good. Well, you know, it does coincide with some guy. God, I don't know his full name, but his last name is Grubb. Talking about there's some sort of letter of intent signed between Microsoft and Kojima that's going to be some visionary, like there's with some vision of some cloud-based gaming. I'm probably not saying that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's going to get that Microsoft money next. Get himself a Razer mouse.
So
There's been talk with that director guy. Like they've been talking about like some, you know, like digital future of gaming, and they're, I don't know, cloud based. That's not specific enough for me, but I don't know. For me, that whole partnership or whatever, the letter of intent, you know, it's not like signing him away from PlayStation. That's one thing a lot of people are like immediately thinking like, oh, it's gonna be exclusive. You know, like it's like, well, no, he's gonna still do stuff, but this just kind of like shows that they're both wanting to work together, and Microsoft is gonna let him in, like, and use their technology. That's my understanding of it.
can I be the stick in the mud here?
Go ahead.
Okay, because I've seen a lot of conversations surrounding this. I don't even think partnership is the right word. This association / plan to have a plan with Microsoft. It just strikes me as much ado about nothing. And I'll tell you why. So, if you listen to Jeff Grubb, who is the person who essentially broke this story and has been, the one cited for pretty much every single report on it, and you listen to how he describes it, you can distill the entire story into Kojima and Microsoft have signed a paper to state that maybe they will work together at some point. If the stars align, if everything works out, which is the most non-story I have ever heard. And it's been stretched into this giant headline that then apparently people have created a, I guess there's a poll going around, or not a poll, but a petition to have Kojima not do it, which is, of course,
Really?
petitions are the dumbest things ever. And I've seen blogs reporting on this petition, but here's the thing. It's like 200 people. Okay. That's not news.
That's weird.
That's an angry, not very busy Discord server. That's what that is.
Very impulsive.
I've honestly stopped listening
it's nothing.
to all of it. Anything that comes out about Kojima, unless it's from his Twitter or
Right.
Sony's, just drown out the noise, you know?
Yeah, and that's the other point to make, is that there's not really any guarantee that this story is true. A lot of people are going, well, Jeff Grubb said it, and he's very well known. Okay, but he's been wrong about a lot of stuff in the past with regards to things like Elden Ring, Cyberpunk, Scarlet Nexus, Xbox Game Pass, PS5 performance. I don't want to shit talk a guy I don't know on our podcast, but he, like most people who, sort of ride the rumor train and get their account traffic from it, they will cling on to popular rumors, and every once in a while, it'll hit the bullseye, and that will make them look credible, even if there's nothing substantial under the source that they may be operating under in one situation or another. So, could Kojima work with Microsoft? Sure, why not? Maybe. I don't know. I have no insight as to how the business is structured or what sort of exclusivity deals he has or anything like that. But I wouldn't take Grubb's word for it. And that's my 2 cents. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
But like you say, right, someone's going to be right about their vague rumor at some point or another, and then they're gonna get all the brownie points for that. But
Exactly.
a lot of these rumors, they're just so vague. It's like, oh, Kojima might work with one of the, biggest platform holders in the video games industry. Like, how? Okay, that's possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's meaningless. It's meaningless fluff.
Well, I think so many people kind of associate him with PlayStation and, PC, they've got Death Stranding on that, of course, but he's been like a PlayStation guy, you know what I mean? So like for this switch up to kind of, we got the HD collection on like 360 and shit, but
yeah,
like they made it available, but you know what I'm saying? Like it just always seemed like, him and PlayStation were the ones that went back. So
sure, but at the same time, people have the memories of Goldfish because Metal Gear Rising was first announced at the Xbox keynote.
Yeah.
So like this is
so he's never been like against working with them. I think that's it's like, okay, great.
Yeah,
like good. They're working together again. But it's
this is adolescent console war shit.
Adolescent.
I think this project, like if it were, to be a thing, this will be something that is exclusive to Xbox, but he's still going to be working and doing his PlayStation thing too.
Then I'll get an Xbox. Just not like anybody can get him right now anyway. I don't know. It annoys me because like Adam said, it's going to come to a point where one of these rumors is going to end up and I don't want to say the rumor comes true because that's not quite right, but they're going to end up being correct because they're so obvious about certain things that would predictably happen over the course of time.
Yeah.
That the people who spread these rumors are going to be like, see, I knew all along. I know what I'm talking about. I got the inside scoop. And no, you didn't. No, you threw a dart at the board blindfolded and got lucky.
Yeah, I mean, with this being like a supposed letter of intent, like a document being signed, it feels like that's something that should be able to, like, someone should be able to dig that record up and be like, yep, here it is, and then people can confirm it. But I don't think, I haven't followed up on the story to be, I don't really care that much. That's
even as Grubb described it, even as he described it, it was, hey, we will try to work together on something if everything sort of works out, which is like the most complicated way of saying maybe I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's kind of, and my understanding is like a good faith kind of like.
But also,
we'll let you in, like, to see how, like, just what the, like, as far as technology and stuff like that goes on that side. It's like, cool, you're not just gonna come in and be a spy and then dip out and not make anything. That's like, I don't know if that's like the reason for this document to go off with trade secrets. Like, is that that's what's basically being signed here? No, not a big deal.
I guess. It's just, can you imagine if we went back to go back to 2015 or 2016, whenever Kojima was on his tour across the globe looking for a new engine to use for his next game before he finally settled on Decima. Can you imagine if there was a similar rumor mill for every single studio he visited during that period? Like, we don't even know how many he went to.
Yeah, but they did show off a few, but yeah, you're right. There's probably more that didn't even make the Twitter post.
The reactions that people have to these sort of stories just speak to how little people understand about how the professional world works. Because they think it's this big deal and it's business as usual.
It just seemed very, from the surface level, it seemed very like just promotional, like, hey, he supports this initiative, and if the stars, like you said, if the stars align, then, there might be a potential partnership in this, but, nothing outside of that. I'm not expecting, Koji Pro to be the system seller for the next Xbox, but, what do I know?
Yeah, and we did have that announcement like in the middle of the week where Sony was acquiring, what was it, I don't know how to say it, House Marquee or House Marks. I don't know. And then some people had shown that there was a picture that showed them welcoming Bluepoint to the family, but now I just now like did a follow-up on that, and it looks like Bluepoint is shooting that down as a rumor, so.
Well, that's interesting. I didn't see the follow-up on that.
I know, that's like, I thought that image eventually poured out, but I just checked on it right before I started talking about it, and seems like Bluepoint's denying it.
It's a pretty big twist.
Or they might just, they could just be, just playing dumb until it gets announced later in the week or something when they eventually announce it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking through this article you linked, and I'm trying to sort of find a source on it.
Just did a quick goog.
Yeah, and it's Game Rant for one, which they were riding the that was one of the biggest supporters of the Tom Olsen economy. I'll tell you, they did 5 articles on Tom Olsen.
Journalism has changed.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. And they're citing Games Radar, which is just slightly less of a hack rag.
Damn it.
So, I got to dig through here, and maybe there's a nugget of truth about 4 citations back, but man, like,
it says that according to Games Radar, it says that what they're calling out is that they added in the description a fully independent funded studio that wasn't previously in the bio.
Okay, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, and so that created that article, which created the other article, which
God.
I mean, it's to be fair, I mean that I've had, as someone who hosts a lot of documentation at work, I have had moments where people have assumed the wrong thing about my product, and we're just like, let's make a hot fix to that shit quickly, or that consumer facing shit quickly. But I don't think it's enough. I don't know if it's enough to necessarily warrant the
I mean,
rippling effect that it has.
No, and most of the people writing these stories are either the most brain dead gamer bros or teenagers. So this isn't exactly seasoned journalism. You know, the trust the number, you could count the number of trustworthy voices in games journalism on one hand.
It's hard out here.
Sorry, I'm a little heated. This is I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I'm not a big fan of the rumor mill.
Yeah, we know.
Have I talked about this before?
I mean, that's like the best thing you can do to like contribute or to help it like not grow any bigger is like don't talk about it, don't reference the thing. Like it all like helps it like trend even more, and just ignore the shit you don't want to hear about, and that seems to knock it down. But everybody like jumping in front of it like this isn't, it's like, well, great, you just gave that post reach and now it's gonna hit more people. Fuck.
Yeah,
Like,
but then what
wait,
do we rant about?
Yeah, I know we're all bored, but
What's that one Vice? Was it a Vice thing or a meme or like a hard drive page? But like there was a fake headline that was like, here's our news story where we paid someone freelance to say that the thing you like is
the
crap
yeah,
because Google and Facebook
I
ate
saw
the
that.
digital ad market, and now 8 clicks are the only way we can make money.
So on point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true though.
Yeah. Sony did get that that other company too. Was it Nix's? They do like PC ports. So that's
Yeah, I don't know
interesting.
much about them,
Yeah.
but it does seem like they're sort of leaning more into doing PC software with their, tentpole titles, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that they're following that trend of adding stuff. MGS4 on PC when?
God, seriously. Now, if you got the hardware for it.
Yeah. Without melting your PC. But we got Days Gone, we've got Horizon. I do, obviously Death Stranding. I do like the trend of stuff coming to PC as well. I'm quite enjoying that.
I'm a little worried because I did notice that in the Death Stranding director's cut trailer there was only a PS5 logo. And I feel
Oh yeah,
like
we're
it
not
would
getting
be
that on PS4.
it would be such a great injustice if it wasn't on PC though, like because it looks so good on PC. The director's cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be my preferred platform, to be honest. Because just because getting your hands on a PS5 is just impossible at this point. But
That's where it seems like a lot of this is just, like there's like an incentive now. They're like, well, shit, we can only sell but so many copies because there's just not that many PS5 owners out there. There's a cap to it. So
yeah, that's why they announced God of War would be coming to PS4 as well, right? I suspect.
Yep.
Because they need to shift those units and they can't do it if it's just on PS5.
Yeah.
Isn't this what Square did with part of Intergrade, the sort of director's cut, whatever you want to call it, of Final Fantasy VII Remake, where they they had all the enhancements you could get, I think, on the PS4 version, but I actually don't know what is available on the PS4 and what's available on the 5, but I think the Yuffie mission that they added is you can only get that on the 5.
I believe
that
so, yeah.
The case?
Yeah.
Which, that's
Yeah,
fine and
it's
all,
not.
so long as, people can actually get the system.
I haven't seen anything like this since the PS2.
Oh god, yeah.
I just really wanted to play Tekken Tag, man.
That was the best.
Oh, so
So
good.
good.
But on the other side of the spectrum, like, and this is so much lamer than fucking than all this Sony news and this Kojima news, is that Konami is apparently partnering with Blooper, the guys who made the Blair Witch game, the guys who made God, what's that like PT clone?
They made Observer.
Layers of Fear. Yeah, they made Observer too.
Observer actually looked pretty good. I never played that, but that looked okay. Blair Witch looked like shit, but
I have to say,
Uh.
I really enjoyed Blair Witch when I played it.
okay. Yeah,
Just
that's like
kind of-
I didn't even like. I saw like one trailer maybe, and I was like, eh.
Yeah, it was.
So that was a good time. Like I want to hear about it if it's.
It was a little rough around the edges, and
Yeah.
it's probably a one and done type game. There's no
Gotcha.
real, there's no replay value to it, and once you've been jump scared once, you're not going to get the same sort of effect out of it. But
Yeah.
I enjoyed it for what it was. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say from the criticism that I've seen, or just the overall what I've seen about them, it seems like their games, like you said, they're very like one and done. Like the first experience is great, but the games are also extremely derivative. So it's not very. It doesn't feel very like original or meaningful. Which the second aspect of that, meaningful, as we know, is a huge part of Silent Hill. Silent Hill there's a lot of meaning behind its design and its stories and its characters. So people have valid concerns if they think, Blooper is going to be responsible for this. But I can't pass a judgment because I've not really played any of their games.
I just haven't played any of them.
That's where I am too. I have not played a single Blooper game, but Observer looked interesting, and I mean, I like Rutger Hauer, so probably check that out. But
and to be honest with you, like at the end of the day, I figure if there is going to be some sort of like reemergence of Silent Hill, I mean, it would probably be more akin to what we got towards the latter end of the series, where it was like, an okay-ish Western developer taking care of the series or developing games, which this is kind of what it's sounding like right now. But
It seems like they do a lot of like first person stuff too.
yeah, I was gonna say that was I know that they did Layers of Fear, which was like super derivative of PT. So I'm not sure if maybe that was the catalyst of Konami reaching out, or.
I mean, we're definitely filling in the blanks here when it comes to Blooper plus Konami equals Silent Hill, because there's absolutely no proof that that's what the deal is for. But at the same time, I mean, given the kind of games that Blooper, is it Blooper or Blooper? That's how little I know about these guys.
It is Bloober. Fuck.
Oh,
I
man.
thought it was Blooper. God damn it.
Oh my god, it's Bloober.
Yeah, I just
Bloober?
now noticed
Okay.
that.
Oh god.
Sorry, Bloober.
Dude, that's so much fun to say.
We love you.
Just going through their catalog, though, it's kind of a safe assumption what Konami would want to work with them on.
Their tagline on their website says, "We're an independent game development studio focusing on creating psychological horror games unlike any other on the market." So that's their bread and butter, apparently. So what other psychological horror games does Konami have under their belt? Exactly.
Yeah, this is I mean, I think there actually are some, but I don't remember what they are.
Yeah, watch them pull out. They're like, this is some old NES game that you've never heard of that was only released in Japan. We're like, motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's going to be like...
I do want to try out that Getsu Fumaden game.
Okami Kakushi or something, like one of their
Oh my
old
god,
visual
I
novels.
was thinking that, yeah.
On the note, real quick,
Go
just
ahead.
before we kind of stray away from Silent Hill, I will say that on the subject of Western studios doing Silent Hill, I did like Shattered Memories a lot, because it was very unconventional to what you would expect from Silent Hill, which is kind of perfectly Silent Hill if you think about it.
I thought that Shattered Memories had some interesting ideas. And God, I feel like I feel like this is an indictment on the Wii, which it absolutely is. But I feel like it had great ideas that may not have been executed the best, and that's not necessarily the game's fault.
Yeah, I would like to
I'm
see...
still blaming the Wii.
Fair enough. I would like to see Shattered Memories, something like that done with a better budget in VR and with something better than the just run away from the bad guys segments, though I get that. Like, Shattered Memories, God, we could talk about that for a long time, and we may have to one of these days, but that is an example of a game that I think was too clever for its own good.
Yeah, that's a good way of describing it rather than
Yeah.
just making an excuse to ramble about the Wii.
Because they tried to work everything into the theme to a fault, and doing so made the game kind of a slog at times. Their whole did any of you play, like, other than Days, did any of you play it?
I didn't actually know.
Nope.
So one of the major elements in the game is that there's no combat. Occasionally enemies will show up and you have to escape from them. Rather than the industrial, very hot, very red, fiery sort of rustic look that you see when the other world sort of comes into play in previous Silent Hill games. This one goes the other direction, and everything freezes over into ice.
Huh.
Okay? And there's a very specific purpose for this. The idea that the main character is trying to repress memories that they are uncomfortable with. The enemies in the game are literally called raw shocks, like Rorschach, right? It's a play on words, which, again, they're trying to be too clever, and it sort of hurts them. But whenever these situations happen where the character is forced to sort of deal with the dissonance between what he believes and what his actual memories are, everything freezes into place, and you have to escape these monsters, which are kind of like your past coming back to get you. And he's running from his memories. Like, it's all very, like, cleverly psychological.
But in execution, it's kind of like awkward.
Yeah. It doesn't work from a gameplay perspective, but it works from a meta perspective. And that's the problem with the game. But, like, I had a really good time with it, and it's got probably one of the best twists in a game I have ever seen.
I particularly, and this was, I don't want to say this was what I was kind of referring to with the game having good ideas but couldn't be executed to their full potential. I really liked what they did with how the game tonally and thematically could change depending on your psych profile.
Yes.
So you have this psych profile that you build up, and like if you're like a sex pest, the raw shocks would be more like sexually oriented. They'd look like something more akin to like what James would see in Silent Hill 2. Whereas, wasn't there one that was like about addiction?
Yeah.
Like, and then there's one, they all had very qualities that represented, whatever your psych profile was addressing.
Right.
And then your side characters also their designs were manipulated based off of, what your psych profile mentioned. So, like, for example, if you were more of like, if you were flagged as a sex pest, then Sybil Bennett would have her police uniform buttoned down a bit more. And again, it couldn't be the most subtle because it was on the Wii. But
Nintendo's not going to have any of that.
I think that, also because of the technology too. Like, I feel like there's only so much you can do in terms of execution of that type of gameplay. But I could see it having some potential in the future. So if there's a Western game that they have to base things off of, try Shattered Memories at least.
Yeah, not Homecoming or Downpour, please. Just please no.
Yeah, bring Corn back.
But yeah, just to put a fine point on it, I'm assuming both of you guys played Silent Hill 2, right?
I've played Silent Hill 1, and I haven't played any of the others. I was always a Resident Evil kid growing up. Yeah, I swear to God.
Whoa!
Swear down.
Oh yeah, we're about to do that board game too.
This is one of those, like, you have to play it before you die games. Like, mandatory.
Yeah, I'll have to get around to it, I think.
I gotta get you a copy.
Yeah, I want to revisit them. I played them like back when they first came out. I was much younger, but
I'm gonna spoil something from it if that's all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
I won't spoil the twist from the game, but this game is extremely old, and you've probably heard the main spoiler anyway.
It's my own fault by this point, so it's fine.
Wait.
I'm not gonna spoil the main twist. I'm not gonna spoil the main twist. I'm not. I promise. I am gonna spoil a mechanic though, which is that in the game, the ending is determined somewhat passively. not actively. It's not like you pick a dialogue choice and that sends you down a path. It's more the things you sort of do as you're playing, and it sort of ranks that accordingly. So in the game, if you make decisions that are self-destructive more often, and it can be as subtle as looking at an item in your inventory too much, then the game will steer towards a self-destructive ending. Okay? But it's not like an enormous component of Silent Hill 2. For the most part, the game plays out the same. It's only near the end that it sort of deviates, right? In Shattered Memories, that's the whole game. That's kind of what we were getting at.
That's like the main device that it uses. Gotcha. Yeah.
Exactly. Every little thing you do passively adjusts the kind of experience you're having. So if you look at sexy posters on the wall too often, or if you pick up like items that are you use too many healing items, too many drugs, things like that. I think that was what it was. Is that what it was?
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, like one of them. I'm basing this off of what like Sybil and Dahlia looked like.
Yeah.
So I remember like sexy Sybil and like emaciated Dahlia, and
but it's all very passive.
oh yes, I found it.
On paper, that sounds amazing.
Sorry,
That
we kind of
sounds-
There's like a
we sort of went off on a tangent here.
yeah, we do that a lot here nowadays, Adam. Since you haven't been here for a while. But I'm just kidding.
TLDR, play Shattered Memories and Silent Hill 2. It's really good.
Yeah, I think I will. That does sound really good.
There is a guide. There's like a like a ping, like a JPEG or a ping picture. I found it, and it basically breaks down how you can play 2 and 3, like in the best possible fidelity
Oh shit.
on PC. And I'm gonna put this.
Yeah, don't play the HD collection for the love of God.
That's what I hear. Yeah, I hear it's not great.
I'm gonna put this in the chat, and then I'm gonna also make it a Patreon. I'm just kidding. I'll put it on my Twitter or something. But yeah, no, definitely give it a shot.
Yeah, I've got some homework. I think I'll let you guys know how I get on with it.
Dude, you gotta do the whole mod thing with chat with Silent Hill. Just
Oh, if I can play it on
fuck you up.
PC, that could absolutely happen. Yeah, we can make that happen.
Dude, that'd be dope.
Yeah, Adam. We appreciate you coming back on, man. And we had fun with you. It's always an easy conversation with you.
Yeah, pleasure's all mine, guys. Thank you very much for having me back on.
Absolutely, and I'm going to be picking your brain later about some of these mods.
Oh, by all means, definitely. There's a lot of good stuff out there. A lot of good stuff.
Yeah, no, if you want to plug where people can find all that fun stuff that you're doing, you can go ahead with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me twitch.tv/Adam_online. Most weekends on a Saturday, you'll usually catch me playing a Kojima game of some kind. And these days with all sorts of fun, interactive ways to join in on that fun. So yeah, you can catch me there.
Oh yeah. Did you say your Twitter?
Oh, Twitter is Adam Online, BPF.
Awesome. All right, buddy. Thanks again for coming on. As always, it was a good time.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Thanks for talking to us, Adam. I'm sorry me and your friends got lost in Outland.
Yeah, no worries, dude.
Yeah, good talking with you, man.
Yeah, thanks.